Because I find it so easy to think about these things, but then there's another step in actually saying them.
Yeah.
So like I could have thought about it all day, like, wow, Eric did this and this in my head, but never actually verbalize anything to him. So learning how to do that can actually take your relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to hear from Dr. Gary Chapman, the 5 love languages guy, as he's helping us navigate these strange waters when we're all kind of isolated at home together.
Absolutely. And we have with us to navigate these waters our kitchen couples, but they're in their own kitchens.
That's
so we
right.
have Mike and Diane Clemens, we have Dan and Danielle McCauley, we have Eric and Kara Maines. Like, we're here together, you guys. And you know what? How timely is Dr. Chapman's book, because we are literally stuck at home together.
Stuck? Did you say that with attitude?
No. No.
Little attitude.
Stuck with me?
You're supposed to stop the bombs, Ann. Stop the bombs.
That's right.
Still throwing bombs.
Oh man, I know the word verbal bomb really got to me because I feel like it's just been an explosive year, hasn't it? 2020. And, you know, I have to say, the word thing really got me because I'm a chatter, I'm a talker, and I can be, you know, I have to be careful with my words. You know, the Proverbs are filled with so many warnings about words and things that say our words hold life and death. And I think that what happens is it starts in the head. So, you know, we're around each other all the time now. We were before, but even more so. And if he does one thing wrong, sometimes I'm playing in my head over and over, and it's this tape rolling of negativity. And so what I've learned to do is something very practical but very powerful, is to take Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, noble, righteous, excellent, praiseworthy, all these positive things, we are supposed to think about those. And what we think about, it goes from here out here. So I've done before, and I've actually done this during the pandemic, I have written out a list, done this activity. What is Dan excellent at?
Ooh,
What is
I would like to
true
see that
about
list.
Dan?
I didn't know this list
What is
existed.
admirable about him? And
Can I have that list after?
all of a sudden, that would be interesting. I have this laundry list of great things about him, and all of a sudden what happens is that one thing that I was going around that was way up here in my mind.
It was written on toilet paper.
and
That's
coming
where
out.
all the toilet paper
Roll.
went in North America. Sorry.
All of those things, that bad thing, all those good things kind of outweigh it, and in my mind then I have all these positive things, and then I start speaking them out. And so it's the power of our thoughts turning into our words, and instead of being a verbal bomb, it can be a verbal balm.
Yeah.
And healing. Yes.
Ooh, B-A-L-M.
Yes.
L-M. I like that. I liked where he said that we should apologize, even if we might be 5% of the problem and they might be 95% of the problem. I don't recommend you do that math out loud, though, with them. Like, sit down. I think you're about 85% of the problem, and that's math. We did enough math with our kids during homeschooling. Math is not good for marriages. So leave the percentages out, but no matter where you are on that spectrum, being the first to apologize, relationship over rightness, that's a good thing.
Yes.
No, I love that. With us during the pandemic, we also added an addition to our family, and with that comes exhaustion. And sometimes I feel like it's you're just so exhausted that the verbal bombs sometimes just come out, and
They
you're like,
just fall out.
shoot, I didn't mean that. It's like 3 a.m. You're
It's
just
like Bradley
upset.
Spit Up.
It's like, yes, it
Just
just
this
comes
morning,
out, and it
yeah.
just, you're like, what was
So
that?
you're okay. I have to say, you're talking about your precious baby boy,
We are.
Bradley.
Bradley is now 7 months
7
old,
months old.
and he's really tall. I don't know where he gets
You know
that
what?
from.
He
but-
is just like his father, and he is just exceeding expectations like no other.
See? Wow. You must have a list like Danielle has.
Yes.
You
I've
write it
been
out.
working on them.
Wow. I really liked Gary Chapman's note about practicing in the mirror, complimenting your wife. Like, I don't need to be reminded to love my wife, but I guess I do need to be reminded to verbalize it, to say it out loud to her more often, and the note to even practice it in the mirror, just so you can practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that note.
Because I find it so easy to think about these things, but then there's another step in actually saying them.
Yeah.
So like I could have thought about it all day, like, wow, Eric did this and this in my head, but never actually verbalize anything to him. So learning how to do that can actually take your relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't made a list, but I can relate to Danielle because I too tend to dwell on that negative thing that comes out sometimes. And it's like, oh my gosh. But what I have been trying to do is not make a list, but just in my head, I'll start thinking about all the good things and all the things that he does for me to make me feel good all the time. And all the times that he compliments me, because that's one thing I can say that my hubby is great at, I think, is complimenting me. Even when I'm at my worst days and I feel like I look like crap and I feel like crap. And he always tells me how beautiful I am and how much he loves me. And it just instantly, for me, it just turned things around. Instantly.
But I could never tell you how wonderful you are, though. Words can't express it.
Oh.
You see? You see?
That's really
Well, this is been such a challenging time for so many, and if you are fortunate enough, though, to be able to have family safe and all those other things. It would be great, one, just to kind of think about the people who haven't had that chance, right? And is that other perspective as we look out into the other worlds, right? That sometimes gives us a greater perspective of what we have. In addition to that, it's game day. Yes, guys, listen, we got all this time. And so we got all this great ability to practice, and it's really a game, right? So don't throw interceptions. They called them bombs, right? But it's interceptions, right? Don't throw interceptions.
A long bomb.
Complete the passes, right? We want to be a good quarterback and throw all of these complete passes. So as you pass these comments over to your wife, your significant other, make sure you complete the pass. Now, don't throw those interceptions. And so make it a competition. See how good you can. Are you capable of being like Brady? Or are you more like the third string quarterback, right? So make a little bit of a competition out of it. I think it makes it more fun for us guys.
Good.
And
I love that. And
complete as many passes
I'm not
as you
surprised that, Mike, that you're using the whole, football analogy. That makes perfect sense. And this has been so good. We love this. Like this is like old school. Oh, we're back in the groove here, even though we're in our own kitchens.
Well, Dr. Chapman, he's only given us the first 2 of his 5. He calls it 5 simple ways to strengthen your marriage while you're stuck at home together. That's his little book he developed during the whole COVID time.
So we've got more coming up from Dr. Chapman, right?
And whether or not you're watching this right now during still the home isolation or not, maybe you're watching a rerun, down the road a little bit.
This is still good
it's
stuff.
still good stuff for your marriage. And so stay with us, and Dr. Chapman's coming back.
All right.
I want to emphasize that it doesn't have to be this big thing. Like you can do very simple practical steps and they make big changes once you do them over time.
Absolutely.